As promised, the next one we've got here is the if-else chain. So we are going to look for a more robust connection between if and else if. We're going to look at more alternatives that we're running here. So here I do have the J option pane. I wanted to throw an example in here where you can actually see what the output is going to look like. This is the example from the text largely, and I just wanted to highlight it again here so that you could actually see it in action. So first of all, we're going to test for a numeric value. So we're going to get in a test score, and we're going to tell you what your grade is. So here, we're saying take an input from the dialog box. And like I said in a previous video, and I know you don't have to hold all of, or I shouldn't hold rather all of my videos against you. But the difference between regular standard output window, system.out and system.in, and the J option pane with assigning an input is not altogether that different, but we won't focus on these. I just wanted to show you what it would look like, because the logic is exactly the same. So you can see here lines 15 down through 26, we have an if, else chain. So the keywords here are if, else if, and then down here at the bottom, else. So the if statement starts with our smallest value, or our lowest grade. Does that make sense? Because what we want is to keep testing our way up through the logic here, because it actually makes it faster. It's one of the things you'll notice in your coding. It's one of the things you'll notice in the examples that we do is when we're looking for ranges of values, to test for ranges of values. So, temperatures, is it hot, medium, or cold? We will start with cold and we'll work our way up. With grades, from fail to A, we'll work our way from fail on the way up. It's actually logically faster for the machine to do it that way. So here we start with our if, and we are testing here inside of the parentheses for a condition. Is test score less than 60? If that is true, execute this line. If that is false, test it again here with a new condition. So let's say that the grade I enter here, I'm going to put 85, okay? So 85, and it's going to test here on line 15. Is 85 less than 60? No. So it's going to move down to here. We're going to evaluate again. Is 85 less than 70? No. So we're going to move down here. Is 85 less than 80? No. So we're going to evaluate here. This time, 85 is less than 90. So this else if is evaluated as true. So then this line number 22, is actually executed. And over here we can see in our message, your grade is B, and that's what we see here in the message. So the reason all of these are linked together is they are linked here together by the if, else keyword. And it's absolutely positively true that we could wrap these. Never remember, folks. We can wrap these in a statement block like so. We would, honestly, I think we would clearly here want to give ourselves that spacing. There we go. And this is still okay because it's going to look for the else if here. And then, proceed down and finally exit when the else condition is evaluated. Before we get anyplace else, I do want to talk a little bit about the else. It is hard sometimes using or not using these keywords in a sentence. The last else here is seen as a default case. This is the catch-all. We want a valid score, or we don't want the user to walk away with no idea of what a valid score is. So here, I'm going to suggest a small change. Invalid score, please enter a number from 0 to 100, just like so. And that's not going to show up here because we ran that a little too late. But this, the default case, the catch-all, is here to let the user know that, first of all, there's an invalid score. And the second thing it's here to let the user know is please enter a number from 0 to 100. This gives the user a clear indication of what the range of acceptable values is. So if, there we go, here inside of my input window, I say 101. You and I both know, I think, that 101 is in fact greater than 100, which we cannot have for a range of good values. So if I enter that here in my input, what we should expect to see, and you will see it much faster than I'm seeing it here. I am having internet issues out the yazoo. And Replit really does require that internet connection to run. So I do think that we are screwed. But what I'll tell you is a value of 101 will evaluate down here with, hey, there it goes, the else condition, invalid score. And we're going to show that message to the user. Please enter a number from 0 to 100. This is good program design, and we did it using the if, else chain.